record this. And I'm actually on my free account on this, so if it does go out, I'll send another link. Just hop into it. Um, but yeah, so we want to look for things on the daily. Yeah, we'll do the daily. Some of these coins are smaller, so when we get to them, I might adjust it to the 4 hour. But we're looking for these little breakouts. So even without the system, you can see that double bottom or that W, right? Uh, this is always a bullish, a bullish movement in the market. So thing we want to identify is obviously these entries on some of these other coins for exponential gains like we're seeing here. Of course, not everything's going to move like this, but just looking for this pattern in addition to the rack system calling a racks buy on the daily, I might add. So, there are more perfect entries down here, but when you're all the way up here, it doesn't matter if you got in here or there. That's minuscule and difference, but you want to make sure to get it right, and not, get in here, right, at this particular point, thinking that was the push up, and you had to sit through this downtrend pretty much. Wasn't too bad, but you had to kind of sit through that. But hold on real quick. All right. So we're looking for that right now with coins that haven't moved yet. Let me pop this off. And we're focusing on the BTC pairing because it's usually once there's gains made against Bitcoin that, you know, the thing really pops off in USD value. It will continue to move against the US dollar because the US dollar in itself has been um, weakening over time. But of course, Bitcoin has been pumping. So if you see a coin is gaining traction against Bitcoin, then you know there's a lot of uh, value that is going into it. It's pairing against Bitcoin. Once it starts to break these highs, you still follow the same market structures. Still have your double bottoms, nice entry to get in. So first, we're going to identify these Bitcoin pairings. Cardano has been on the move. Again, same pattern here, double bottom pattern. I'm sorry if that looks weird. I'm not an artist, but double bottom pattern. And we were able to lift off from that. If we add in the rack system, we closed the sell at that very bottom. And of course, it bought the buy here. Again, minuscule and percentage on when you got in for this. I know like on Forex, we want to get the perfect entry. I get it. But when you're up 300% in a day, it doesn't matter. Like if you sacrificed 10, 20% to to actually get there. So at the end of the day, you want to make sure to get these things going. And it look like Cardano is ready to go. So I'm actually literally making a list as we go down this whole list on coins that have already moved and are ready to go. So we can go ahead and write down ADA Cardano. So overall, if you guys haven't seen, I am going to first give you guys that full list of coins. Then I'll let you guys know on where you can figure out how to buy those coins and where to actually buy those coins. I'll give you guys some links to those exchanges if you're not on them, because we both get a bonus if you sign up under my link versus you just signing up regularly anyway. So for me bringing you the information for free, we can help one another out. So at the end of the day, Cardano is breaking some highs. It's actually moving out of that channel. We broke the last high that we had here. So it's looking to make that exponential move. And this is against Bitcoin. Looking at the USD side, again, the US dollar has already been weakening. So this movement was already on the go. The real party doesn't begin until, this starts to go. So when this starts to really go, that's when the US dollar pairing is going to be astronomical, especially once it eventually breaks the all-time high against Bitcoin. You might see Cardano at $20, $40 at that time, and then it'll go. So we're just going to mark things against the Bitcoin pairing. Those that we're seeing that has this little pattern going or starting that. All right. Obviously, the better entry was somewhere down here at the 1,000 Satoshi level, but we're at 2,000 now, and we broke that resistance at around 1,500. Well, that resistance, there's some resistance at this 2,000 level too. So you'll find your entries into this overall. But ADA, that's first on the list. Let's go down. We're only looking at the Bitcoin pairing. So Algorand, I know for sure is kind of ready. It's actually doing doing this. So Algorand is working on a lot of things, and partnerships are coming in. So against Bitcoin, it is moving. We can look at the USD side. It's already making its way up, right? It's already in this parabolic uptrend. And so we already broke some all-time highs, and it becomes a price discovery from now. But the thing is, against Bitcoin, thing hasn't moved yet. So it's not until it moves against Bitcoin, until it breaks these all-time highs against Bitcoin, that the USD value is going to skyrocket. But until then, the perfect entries are now, while it is making its way above and beyond that USD value. So with that going on, we'll get Algorand on the list for that. Again, against Bitcoin, it's not doing much. It's still at the bottom of its channel. We had this rounding bottom, and if we do zoom in a bit, we see somewhat of a cup and handle pattern, which is bullish. Come in here, so we're looking for it to blast off of that pattern for sure. But overall, against US dollars, price discovery. Okay. But against Bitcoin, it's still at the bottom. And it seems like there's another coin doing price discovery right now as well. So a lot of these coins are going to pop off for hundreds of percents per day. I can't keep track of all of them. So I only bring you the big ones that I know are having good partnerships and are actually working on stuff. So you see, this one's already left the station. Like I said, we'll throw that on just to show you this. This is against the Bitcoin pairing. Once it broke all-time highs, it started to shoot off. And of course, against US dollars, the perfect entry was down at the 3 cents level. So, everyone's going crazy about Dogecoin and everything because it went from under a penny to what it is, to 7 cents or whatever. But a lot of these coins are doing that plus some. So there's a lot more out there that you could spread your funds into and have it hit like Dogecoin hit. But overall, too, on that Dogecoin thing, I don't see it really pumping to $1 like people keep saying. Another one is API 3. They are working on something really good, and I like this project. We're just now getting that buy off of it. Again, this is BTC pairing. Yeah, so we broke down from that high here. So I'll just keep an eye on this one to see where we kind of hit or find support at. Maybe find some support here. Well, I'll monitor that to see if we break down any lower on this, but I'm already invested in API 3. As you can see on the USD side, it's up at the moment. So if we could get, a break to the upside and stay up there, that would be really good on the USD side. So we'll keep that off. All right, so this main one, AST, you could already write that one down. I already know this one is primed to go. Now, let's jump to the daily. Let me show you the 4 hour because it looks like, yeah. So yeah, it looked like we had bottomed out at 192 Satoshis, and we're currently at 580. But if you can see, we're getting a lot of buys on the system for this. So it is primed to go. Just got to find your proper entries. But again, it's at the bottom of the channel. So just to take this off, it's at the bottom of the channel against USD. Of course, mark off your resistance points as you would any other, and have to, once they break and confirm, those are your confirmations to really get in. Just to take a quick look on the USD side, it hasn't even broken out on the USD side. So this thing is primed to go. Trust me, you want to be in this project. It's crazy how it's still at this particular price point, but it's quite all right because there's a lot of upside to it. So AST, that's another one. Now Atom, it's another good one. We're getting a lot of buys on the 4 hour from the system. It's at the bottom of the channel. On the USD side, it's already been flying. I got in this thing at around 350. It's at $16. So this thing is already flying against the USD value. Like I've been telling you guys with all of these coins against USD, they will fly because the US dollar overall has been dropping and weakening. But goes, it's not until it breaks these highs and these resistance zones against Bitcoin that you're really going to see the thing fly. So for those that just joined, I can show you an example with Aave. So Aave, this is back June of last year. It did peak out in August, right? And it wasn't until it did pretty much this little double bottom move and broke that all-time high that things really started. But against the US dollar, this thing's just been going straight up. So around that same November timeframe, that was the bottom for it. In fact, on the election day, this thing was $20, and now it's $530. So yes, it will gain against the US dollar because that's weakening, but it's not until it breaks all-time highs on Bitcoin and start moving up against Bitcoin that you see the big moves on the USD side. So this was essentially that same little movement. Sorry, wrong way. Yep, February 3rd to here. We we had a sharp move, yeah, February 2nd into the 3rd on the USD side of from 290 all the way to $500 in one day. So that was a double in itself. And it's just going to continue shooting up as long as it continues to gain against Bitcoin. Now, one thing that's very interesting in this altcoin season is that Bitcoin is still moving up and making all-time highs, yet these altcoins are still doing the same too. So that's very interesting to see, because around this time was when Bitcoin was pulling back and Ethereum and the altcoins were having fun last time. But it's interesting to see that the whole space overall is making all-time highs. And yeah, I think it's obviously due to major institutions getting into it. And I also want y'all to ask yourself, like, Elon Musk was pushing Dogecoin so much. Why the hell did Tesla buy Bitcoin instead of Dogecoin? But anyway, let's continue on. AST, get that. Atom against BTC, get that. That's prime to go as well. Let's continue on. Badger's already pretty much gone, but it is a really good project. So we're not really going to go over much. Oh, shoot, wrong thing. We're not going to go over much of entry points and stuff like that with these perfect entries in the 618.5 618 area. Yeah, this would be your best bet, but it's already gone. And um, when the train leaves, you just let it rock. It will come back to touch those perfect buy zones. All right, so balancer, we'll just throw the system on real quick. Um, it's primed to go. It's found its bottom. When you see it's just sitting here, just bouncing off its own, not really breaking lower, you can say like, hey, it found its bottom. This thing been basically at the same price point since November last year against Bitcoin. So you could safely say that it found its bottom, and any one of these entries would be a good one to where you are now. And even still, right now, that's a good entry. Against US dollar, though, this thing's already been moving because, again, that's been weakening. What the hell just happened? Okay. All right. So, you even on the US dollar side, you can see that, um, it's basically found its bottom. It's moving sideways at the same little price range for months. This is where this is the accumulation zone pretty much, where people are just buying this thing up, um, accumulating, for that move up. So you want to identify these accumulation zones and these cryptos and stack up as you can. So look for them against Bitcoin and stack up on that. All right, I'm gonna run through the next few pretty quickly just to see if I catch something, and I'll just tell y'all what it is. This one band, get that on your list as well. As you can see, accumulation zone ready to pop. Bat is another one. Let me actually look at the daily on Bat. Uh, yeah, so that's why it thinks my phone is on. All right, so Bat on the 4 hour, same thing. This thing basically bottomed out, and I'm actually using their product right now. So this browser that I'm on is called the Brave browser, and you may see little pop-ups here for ads or whatever, and I get to click on it and look at the ad and earn some of these BAT tokens, and it goes into a wallet and stuff here. As you can see, that's what I earned for the month. Just clicking ads as I browse the internet. But the cool thing about it is, as this gains value, what I've accumulated so far is going to gain value. So this is prime to get into overall. Yeah, it's pretty much ready to go. So we could put that on the list as well. And I don't think it's been doing that well. It popped off against the USD. Um, yeah, you kind of see the rounding kind of bottom here before the blast off. But that's on the USD side. It just did that. Against BTC, it's just coming out of its full bottom. It has long ways to go to at least getting back to this resistance is 200%. All right, so look back on the list. BNB has been performing very, very well for me this past couple of weeks, well, a couple of days, really. So again, accumulation zone before the takeoff. This is what you're going to see pretty much across the industry. Um, and so you want to get in these zones, regardless on if I had got in at $8 or I mean $18 or $30, things at 127. So you want to look for these accumulation zones. So I don't recommend BNB right now. And still against BTC, it's just now breaking some of these resistances, right? So that's why you're really seeing the reaction on the USD side. But once it actually breaks the all-time high, and goes into price discovery, that's when the USD side is really gonna go full parabolic. So don't be surprised to see this coin at $300 because they are being using this coin really well on their platform. Uh, BNT Bancor, I don't have a lot of this, mainly because it's just been selling off the whole time. So I would monitor this. It's just now kind of breaking some resistances against the US dollar. So this thing is probably ready to go just now. It's in this early phase. You can kind of see this double bottom here before the takeoff. So yeah, like BNT, I would get that on your list to do some research on, look at the charts, find your proper entry into them. And of course, I'll let you guys know which exchanges and stuff these things are on. So BNT, that's perfect. We'll take a quick look at Bitcoin. Yeah, this thing is still going. Um, yeah, second trade is almost at TP, right under 50K. Um, yeah, so Bitcoin, again, like I said, making new all-time highs, yet these altcoins are doing it too. This is definitely different times for sure. So we'll move on to Seller. I mean, Celsius. I always want to call this Seller. Um, I don't have a big bag of this. Yeah, I don't like this coin too much. It was Seller that I have some of. Yeah, so Seller, let's look at 4 hour. Yeah, it's starting. It's things are buys, but just keep that on your radar. I wouldn't recommend that for right now. Cheese, Swiss cheese. Swiss board is it did its breakout. It's retesting that breakout. This is against Bitcoin, by the way. It's retesting that breakout. So if you want to get in, I would say this would be around that perfect entry. Wait and see if it, yeah, I don't, this looks like it's about to be its little double bottom before shooting up. Um, let's look at the US dollar side. That's already been going. So 3 cents back in June. I like to look at that November time frame. It seems like that's when everything started taking off right after the election, day after the election. So it took off from that 7 cents price point to 89 cents. But that's just USD. It wasn't until it kind of broke that BTC all-time high, um, which is as of late, that we had this final leg up, this big leg up. Um, so I just wanted to show you guys like really how the effects of breaking the big against the Bitcoin all-time high, all-time highs, can affect the movements on the USD side. And this looked like just a bullish flag, which is probably going to go to the upside. Um, this is how I measure my flags, wherever it breaks out at. If it breaks out here, this is my target for the next leg up. 50% move. Cool. So this may end in a little bit. Should have hopped on my other account, but if you guys are still interested, I will send another link and finish this out. So next coin is comped already gone. Coty, that's just starting. You can see that double bottom W, right? It's already broke the middle neckline, however you want to call it. Um, Once it breaks here, it's out of there. This is against Bitcoin. I don't have the USD charts apparently, but Cody, get that on your list as well. And I get it. This may be boring or whatever. You may not understand it, but like these coins for the past 2 months, well, shoot, forever that I've been calling out, they're popping off. So if you're trying to make some money, you might as well learn. So cover is on my list as well. You can see how it's the same patterns playing over and over again. They find the bottom, they'll stay there for months and then just shoot up like 300, 400%. Cream's already going. This was the pullback. See, pullback and retested that for the buy, and the system's calling the buy. So we could see this thing go up to 600 easy. Let's see it against. I want to see it against Ethereum. So some of these coins don't have Bitcoin charting because they're on decentralized exchanges. So they may be charted against Ethereum, treated as such. When it breaks these all times against Ethereum, that's when it's really gonna go. So Cream is still pretty early. Yes, it would have been lovely to get in at $20 because it's already 250, but hey, I would put in a little bit in here and catch those percentage gains. So Cream, get that on the list. So Curve is primed to go. As you can see, it already bottomed out, had a little breakout. It's going to kind of retest this here, and that's what it's doing now, and it's kind of ready to go. Um, why do I have two Curve? Okay, sorry. But against the USDT, too, still hasn't even broken out fully. Still hasn't touched its all-time high or anything yet. So, and this is a really, really good project. And that's how the markets run. Like people are focused on one thing, and smart money are accumulating the good projects for real cheap, and then they'll dump the stuff people was focused on, and these things will start to gain value as more money start to then flow into them. So yeah, this it's funny. I had drew this little cup and handle probably a couple weeks ago, and this thing popped off, and this thing just started. So I had put this out yesterday. It actually went up as high as 432%. And that's what we're looking for in these other coins. Um, I sent out the initial chart as well as the update. And this is just to, finish out that W pattern. It's not until it breaks this all-time high, this 1300 Satoshi level, that we're going to see this thing really pop off. So CTSI, it's still good to get in. Even here too, I had this against the USD, and I literally was just uh, like this measurement that I have here, my red line target is literally just the top of my W to my bottom, pretty much. And then you measure out the breakout. But shoot, this thing shot right through that. So that's good. I caught about 3 doubles in this, 3 little old lady strategies, and that was just the beginning. Yeah, these coins for real have been performing really well. So CTSI, you can still put that on your list. Find your entries, but this thing is going to continue. It just started. So CVP, yeah, put that on the list. Just look at the chart. So Dash has been moving as well. Dash is a very OG type of project. It's been out for a while, but against US dollars, we're looking at all-time highs, looking to break them, in fact. So that's going to be very exciting. Hopefully it could break through that. If not, we're just going to see it kind of dip back down until it actually does something against BTC. So I wonder if we got you could say it kind of broke out a bit, but until we get that full breakout above this line, it's not ready yet. So just have that on your radar. Although it's been doing this, right? So those are things you need to be aware of. Give y'all a couple more good ones since this is about to end. All right, so EVX, that's ready to go. You can see against US dollars, and even throwing this on, system's just been calling it, but it's just not ready until the BTC one is ready. All right, so we're gaining some movement against BTC. It's at that bottom. At any point, you could see a sustainable version of this. Want to see what happened here, but essentially, EVX ready to go on the list. Another one, Energy Web Token. That move by Elon and his company was not a fluke. Energy Web Token, they're in cahoots with Tesla and Elon with their battery. And also, Elon already came out, their company came out with a marketplace where people can resell their solar power through their Tesla Home program. And what's the best way to resell energy, especially with cryptocurrencies? Energy Web Token. So this thing has just been going down. Perfect time to get in. Against USD, it did its rounding bottom pretty much. Um, its low is $4. To triple from that once it breaks that all-time high, and yeah, that's only against the USD, and it hasn't even broken the all-time high yet. So this is accumulation phase for a huge project. This project is involved in a lot of things, and I'll definitely send publication and stuff behind it. So EWT for sure. I should have been marking these as I go. GRT, I've been kind of calling this for a minute. Um, yeah, I got in this thing really cheap, like a quarter, I think, 25 cents. That's crazy looking at the charts. Um, yeah, broke all-time highs against BTC. The fun is just now starting, right? That all-time high break were these candles. So everything down here, you know, minuscule in comparison to when BTCs, start to flow into it. And we're not even that far away from that break, yet it caused this, right? So that's what I want you